channel, the Racerred channel. Out here riding the MT9 today, getting some gas run through it on this beautiful mountain road. It is a windy canyon right now. It's actually not that windy out, but right in this canyon, it's just real windy. Until I get out of here, I'm going to be dealing with it. It's weird because it's one of those days where you do 30 miles an hour and you still really can't hear yourself talk. Some days I can do 70 and still hear myself talk, so it's really weird how that works. I just saw two A10 jets, and yeah, that's a bunch of, looks like a Chinook, a few Blackhawks. Let's see if I can get a closer look. That's about as good of a look as I can get. Pretty cool, must be escorting somebody important. Out here riding the 2008 Yamaha R1 Raven. This thing is a beast of a bike. Pretty stiff in the rear suspension, gonna have to fix that, but it's really fun. Street bike riding is inherently dangerous. I just got done talking to a guy who was asking me why I chose to ride a street bike, and he's like, well, everybody's just completely oblivious on the street. And you know, then he started off on some stories about people he knew who had died on bikes and stuff. He told me like 12 people died in 1 year or something like that he knew, and I was like, see, that's the problem. Like, a lot of people exaggerate things or just make crap up. Most people do in fact crash their street bikes during the first year of ownership. I know a lot of people who bought street bikes throughout the years, and I would say that most of them crashed within the first couple of years. Most of them had really close calls with serious accidents within the first couple of years as well. So that's just how it is with street bikes, especially sport bikes. These are really, really fast, and so they give you the impression that you should be racing all the time. And also, you have to learn to read your terrain and not ride beyond your headlights. There's just so many things to learn about street bike riding before you can be proficient at it. Like, I just don't know how many people have turned and leaned their bike over a bunch of sand and gravel and just completely face planted. And it's obvious for somebody who rides in the dirt that you can't just do that and expect to ride away from it. However, most people don't ride in the dirt enough, if at all. So, yeah, guys, I recommend riding 2 years in the dirt consistently, not just riding every once in a while and calling it a day. I mean, give it 2 years of consistent riding, like every weekend or every other weekend. If you can do that, then pretty soon you'll be able to read the terrain well enough to get on the street bike and understand when the terrain has changed, and you'll be able to navigate that better. There are some advantages to riding one as well. One of which is the fact that you can accelerate harder than a car. You can brake harder than a car. You have better spatial understanding, or a better understanding of your environment. you have a better understanding of what's around you. You can hear better, you can see better, there's no cage around you. Better maneuverability. There are many advantages to doing it this way. But, like I said, if you get hit on a street bike, that's not what you want. What's going on, guys? This is Carl with the Racerred channel, riding my two-stroke on the street. I got it all set up for being street legal. I've got it licensed and insured. I know that a lot of people are used to me riding the dirt bikes, but I actually started this channel riding street bikes, and it's a lot of what I enjoy doing. I like riding everything on two wheels, really. I ride dual sport, street. I've ridden motocross, trials, and enduro. I just like riding. My truck is currently at the shop right now, which is why I'm not riding my dirt bikes a whole lot. So after it comes back, it should be good though. Wanted it to be good to go for June and July, and well, basically the rest of summertime. Alright, we're going up Black Canyon here, as we have passed Emmett already. There's a boat to my right here, pulling some rafts behind it. You know, they say the best 2 days about buying a boat are the day you buy it and the day you sell it. I've always felt that way with boats, but that's just me. I know that lots of people enjoy them. I've never had much room for them, and never had much use for them, really. Right now I'm riding into Garden Valley, Idaho, which is a beautiful spot. This is in the springtime, not quite June yet, and it's really, really green right now. We haven't had a ton of water through here, a ton of rain or anything like that recently, so everything has dried. As you can see, the mountains around me, they aren't even snow covered, which it was a shocker coming up here, to be honest. There are a lot of trails in this area, and now I know I can come up here and hit them. This is like I said, a really beautiful mountain town up here. And there's a gas station up ahead that we will probably stop at. We usually do. I chose to ride the Yamaha R1 today just because I haven't been giving it enough love lately. I've been riding the MT9 simply because it's the most comfortable one to ride, but this bike is a lot faster, and actually it's really comfortable as well, so I haven't had too many issues with it, other than the seat gets pretty hot in my crotch area. Like, there's an undertail exhaust on this bike, and that really contributes to a lot of heat in there that I'll probably end up wrapping the pipe, and then I'll also put some heat shield under the seat in order to help with this heat issue. But other than that, this bike is really comfortable. I'm actually considering taking it on longer rides depending on how it does on these shorter ones. Anyways, guys, we're hitting the gas station. I'll catch you on the next section. Peace. This is a little road that I used to take over to Crouch that goes by a park back here, straight through town. This all used to be dirt back when I went through it. I think this is a library off to my left here. It's a really fancy library. And then further down is a park. I've stopped at this park many times. It's a really nice one. Really well taken care of. Lots of surface area to play around. Not that I was ever a partier, but I went to a 4th of July party here, I guess. Wild Bills. Yep, dirty shame. This time I was there were a couple girls making out on the front porch. Those were some Man, 4th of July up here is a wild time. I came up here when I was 20 years old and decided to hang out with the girls up here. And I didn't drink, so that made me a weird match for all those people up here. Riding street bikes is so much fun, but it is also so dangerous. There is a lot to it. It makes you feel like you're invincible sometimes. It makes you feel like you're in total control. But if you're not watching out for every single detail, you will end up on your face in this style of riding. You are responsible for every piece of sand in the road, every little rock, every animal that may cross your path. You have to always be on the watch and the lookout. Any texture in the road that changes is your responsibility to be able to see at all times. And that's a big reason why these beautiful 2008 Yamaha R1s are a rare breed, because so many thousands of people would just cartwheel them because they didn't see sand or rocks or something, or maybe a deer. And nobody's immune to it. I'm not immune to it, but I try my best not to run into stuff or to fall over on a street bike. Generally, you should ride like you're invisible, and you should have at least 2 years of dirt biking experience under your belt before you ride a street bike. And by dirt riding experience, I mean like consistent riding every weekend kind of experience. But then, after you do that, you can ride on the street and you can relax a little bit. You can experience days like today, which are the perfect temperature, perfect conditions. It is just an absolute pleasure to be able to hop on a street bike and just take off and explore wherever I want to go. I would like to take this bike to Canada or to Washington. I want to do a long trip with it. I wouldn't go south, I don't think I would like that hot weather down there, but I do think that a Canada trip would be a lot of fun. Although I'd probably prefer to stay in the United States most of the time. One of the inalienable human rights that I prefer to participate in is the right to carry a firearm. I like to carry wherever I go. I've heard over and over again that, you know, why do you feel like you're a tough guy because you're carrying, or something along those lines. And it's not feeling like you have to carry at all. I hope nobody feels like they have to carry. The United States is like the lowest in rapes and homicides out of just about any other country. It's a very, very safe thing to do, to carry a firearm. But it's a nod to the founding ideas that this country was built on. And that is that the average citizen is trusted with very dangerous tools, very dangerous things. And we are trusted with the ability to overthrow our government if it gets tyrannical, which is built into the Declaration of Independence. The United States Constitution was second to the Declaration of Independence, and the Founding Fathers had many, many ideas in both of those things that we have kind of forgotten about. We have to be free of unreasonable taxation, and that is one of our freedoms. Well, the average American is taxed about 40% of their income. So that's 40 cents out of every dollar goes to the United States government, which spends your money by giving Ukraine hundreds of billions of dollars. I mean, that's the kind of stuff they spend your money on. And it's money laundering, by the way. It's not even going toward good causes half the time. You have Ukrainian officials driving around in the most expensive cars on earth right now. So the second form of freedom, so the first form is to be able to defend yourself and protect yourself from your government. So you have to be able to have means in order to defend yourself and defend your family against the United States government, or any government, that is. So yeah, the right to bear arms is inalienable. It can't be taken away. Another right is the right to free speech. You can say whatever you want without retaliation from the government, and that's been broken many, many times, especially if you work at a government job. I was at risk of losing my job many, many times just because of things I said. I was pretty good at keeping my mouth shut, but every once in a while I'd slip. And if you want to keep your job, you've got to do that, unfortunately. Unreasonable searches and seizures. You don't want your government searching or taking any of your things into their possession unreasonably. Unless you do something like steal, like if you rob somebody, if you steal, okay, then it's time to have your things taken. But short of extreme crimes like that, you should be free of all that. Being free of surveillance is another right, in my opinion. The right to privacy and the right to be free of surveillance. The government should not be surveilling anybody at any time unless they are known to be a violent criminal. Period. I know for a fact that many cities use shot spotters, which is a military technology that listens for gunfire, and it can pinpoint gunfire with extreme accuracy. Caldwell Police Department uses it now. Lots of police departments use this stuff. I think it's unconstitutional, personally. I don't think there's any reason for it. I don't think the government should be listening to you in any capacity. And I think it's all ridiculous. To have your things paid for you, like your education, that's not a freedom whatsoever, because somebody pays for that. Whether it's you or the taxpayers, those are the only two options. So you're going to have somebody else pay your bills, or you're going to pay for it yourself. It's as simple as that. So don't screw other people over. Pay for your own debt. That's a huge problem in today's thinking in our culture, is that somebody else should pay for our own debt. The only exception to this, in my opinion, is healthcare. I don't know a good answer to healthcare. Right now it seems like insurance is just bending people over. You spend $300 to $800 a month on healthcare, and then something big happens and you pay thousands of dollars anyways to the system and to the medical industry. And so that's what's so ridiculous to me, is that right now you're paying massive amounts into healthcare and you just don't get covered. I think if we can have a fire department and we can have things like that, we should have a socialized healthcare system, maybe. That's hard for me to say, because it's something that I've thought about for a long time. I've been against anything socialized, pretty much. But we have a police department, which is socialized. We have a fire department, ambulance and fire, like all that stuff is socialized. We pay that through taxes. And I'm starting to think that we should just pay a flat rate through our taxes and then be covered for any medical expenses as a society. And it seems like that's the way to go, because right now we're getting boned. And the insurance companies are really stealing a lot of money from people. The model years after this one were crossplanes. I really like these bikes, but I also really like the crossplanes. But somebody had mentioned that they had an 06 model of this bike. Yeah, I'm really comfortable on this bike, but I think if I'm gonna go through a bunch of really straight roads and it's just a droning kind of ride for a few hours, I don't know how comfortable I would be on it. That's why it's safer to take my MT9 on longer trips. This kind of riding I can do all day on this bike, but I'm moving around, like I get to actually use it. On the MT9 it gives me the option to sit back and relax quite a bit more while just going in a straight line. Anyways guys, thanks for watching the video. Sorry I'm not riding a dirt bike, but my truck is currently being worked on, so I'm riding mostly street bikes right now. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace. Alright guys, I just wanted to thank my Patreon supporters. That would be Lance Darnell, Jim Jolson Jr., Kurt Kinghorn, Daniel Roush, Brian Thomason, Wade James, Moto Creek, Nathan Young, Jason Froling. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you.